Hey guys, it's your girl D-Light and welcome to week 12. Now we're going to be covering week 11 recap and week 12 expectations. Now the playoffs are so close, I can taste it and I'm living for it. I cannot wait until we figure out who is going to be solidifying their spot in the playoffs, as well as who got snubbed and who just really didn't try at all. So I can't wait for that. But with all that, let's get right into week 12 expectations and week 11 recap. So first, we're going to start with the Panthers. Now, they did face the Falcons in week 11, and from that, it was a terrible sight to see for the Panthers because the Falcons obliterated them. And meanwhile, the Falcons having a 3-7 win-loss record is kind of sad for the Panthers fans and are still struggling to kind of find their identity. And at the same time, they're still managing to defeat their division rivals seamlessly throughout the season. But this win for the Falcons has solidified a 2-game win streak for them, and it kind of made the Panthers look like fools because they were only able to put up a single field goal in that whole entire game. It was quite an odd spectacle to see because they are 3-7, but onto good news for the Panthers. They are facing the New Orleans Saints in week 12, so on a good note, they might be able to make a mark, but Saints are doing pretty well at 8-2, so it will be a tough challenge for the Panthers this week. So now the Texans, they face the Baltimore Ravens in week 11, and from that we saw it looked like a awfully bad movie. We didn't want to look, but we couldn't keep our eyes off of it. So against the Ravens, they were defeated, almost making it a shutout for the Texans, being able to put anything on the board for a while. But they did prove really well with their defense, but their defense didn't quite get to the quarterback, Lamar Jackson, for the Ravens. So they found their ways to make significant passes to put several points on the board early on in the game. But the Texans defense was active against the Ravens in week 11, but it didn't stop Lamar Jackson from finding loopholes with passes and running in little pockets that he can get past. For week 12, the Texans did play the Colts in prime time on Thursday Night Football, and with them, they did seem like two evenly matched teams where their offense and defense were pretty even, so they didn't really have a high-scoring game in this sense. But what was really significant for the Texans was their defense. They were able to get to the Colts quarterback, Jacoby Brissett, for several sacks throughout the game, but it didn't really make a significant mark in the game because they could not complete multiple passes throughout the game, leading to punting the ball several times in the first half. As a whole, the Texans really didn't have a run game at all. Deshaun Watson really relied heavily on his receivers, but they were heavily covered throughout the game, so it was hard for him to get an open look at those receivers. But in the end, the Texans were able to get a few breakthroughs and a few loopholes in the second half of the game, so it did put them over the top over the Colts. And I did see some strengths from the Texans throughout the second half in the game. So like I said before, the Texans defense was on point and it did get to Jacoby Brissett. It really crumbled the Colts O-line, and as of that was week 12 for the Texans. So now they get a little period of rest so they can prepare for week 13. Now we are off to the Cowboys in week 11. So a recap of their game against the Lions. They did put up a fight because the Lions did keep up throughout the first couple of quarters of the game. So Dak and his receivers did find ways seamlessly to get open and make big plays throughout the game. Now the Lions did continue to make close gains, keeping the Dallas Cowboys on their toes, and after them sealing the deal with the Cowboys 35-27, putting them at now 6-4. But if you thought that was a close one, they do have a tough opponent who are the New England Patriots, who are now sitting at 9-1. They face the New England Patriots, who are a great offensive team, facing a legendary quarterback and coach alike. So the Dallas Cowboys are going to have to put all stops to the offense, and hopefully they can move the ball with their offense with heavy run game and high passing with their fast and very reliable receivers in the backfield. Now in week 11, we do have the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now they did face the Colts, and after suffering a defeat of 33-13, they really have to bounce back and move forward if they really want to make their presence significant in these upcoming playoffs. They have no other option but to do just that, bounce back. And with that, they do face Tennessee Titans and Marcus Mariota, who have broken even at 5-5. So with some hope, the Jags might be able to pull this one off if they can solidify the deal with having a 4-6 win-loss record. Now we move on to the Dolphins. So in week 11, we were not expecting at all for the Dolphins to roll over the Buffalo Bills, because the Bills are a more superior team who do have more weapons to utilize in their game. We all knew, in fact, that the Bills were a more superior team, sitting at 7-3 now. With exceedingly more weapons on their squad, we knew what would come to be for the Buffalo Bills against the Dolphins. So with that, Miami does fall to 2-8. Not a pretty sight to see, but they do have to move on to this week. They do face the Cleveland Browns in week 12, and with them, the Browns are really just trying to find their identity, trying to spread out the ball throughout the players that they do have. So facing the Dolphins, now they do have some kinks to work out within their squad, specifically spreading the ball all around, letting everyone get more touches throughout the game. But facing the Dolphins, I do think that is the least of their worries right now. And last but not least, we do have the Saints. Now after their win in week 11 against the Buccaneers, a bounce back thriller for the Saints. Needless to say, they have gotten their stride back. Now they do face the Panthers in week 12, who are another division rival, so the Panthers might pull out their guns and put up a fight against the Saints, but I do think the Saints can get the job done. And of course, their win-loss record is pretty good, sitting at 8-2. There is always room for improvement, so another win won't hurt, and it just solidifies our spot in the playoffs a little bit more, moving us one step closer to the Super Bowl. So that is a wrap of week 11 recap and week 12 expectations. I'm your girl D-Light, and don't forget, throughout this weekend and all the upcoming weekends, I will be live tweeting throughout the game, so you can always follow me at D-Light. So if you want to follow play-by-play tweets for your favorite team, you can. So I'll see y'all in week 13. Bye!